Hey, it's Friday, July 31st. The time is 11:45 p.m. and the temperature is 23 degrees Celsius. I'm here in downtown Toronto, just walking north on Bathurst Street. And the plan for this walk is to turn right onto King Street West and pass through much of the city's nightlife district. Then I might explore some other smaller side streets and find my way to a subway station. Today, the city entered stage 3 of the province's coronavirus reopening, which does allow for bars and restaurants to have dine-in customers inside with capacity limitations, and they are required to wear masks whenever they're not at their table. So even though I was on the street about 3 weeks ago to record a video, I thought it might be interesting to come back. It certainly feels a lot different than last time I was here. I've already walked down this way tonight. I probably couldn't tell you what most of these bars and clubs are called. I'm a bit out of the loop in that sense. So there seems to be a good mix of patios and inside business tonight.
Are you trying to offend me? I don't even know you. You just said
There is Goldie. A little over a month ago, that bar had a not-so-legal gathering inside, and they ended up losing their liquor license. Sucks to be them, I guess, but they deserve it. I don't believe traditional clubs are open yet, as they have to have a seated bar or restaurant area. Anything that's primarily dancing is not allowed to open during stage 3. There's Ruby Soho, and this is Portland Street. This place used to be the beer market. And it looks like Ruby Soho is quite busy. The inside area seems to be full of customers. I thought there was a limit of 50 people per establishment on the inside. I'm actually kind of curious. I might go over there and take a peek inside and head back over this way. Okay, so it wasn't that busy inside. They probably were adhering to the 50 persons rule that I heard about earlier. Although there certainly isn't very good physical distancing going on the streets out here. The public health mandate still states we should try to stay 6 feet or 2 meters apart from other people. And of course that's especially important if you're not wearing a mask.
I really
There's something you don't see in Toronto too often. That's the Keg Steakhouse across the street. They've got a pretty large patio. Perhaps I'll cross the street and take a look on this side. Majesty's Pleasure. I'm not sure why this place isn't open. They seem well equipped for the circumstances. And this is Belfast Love, one of the staples in the neighborhood.
Okay, wait.
Seems to be a lot of patios on this side. That's Chibo Wine Bar, I believe. Don't want to look too much like a creep, sticking a camera in the window of a restaurant. But I guess when you make this type of video, that's unavoidable sometimes.
It's actually not very expensive. It's a lot of
Seems to be a bit more laid back the further I travel east on King.
I made the wrong decision.
There's an alley across the street. I just wanted to take a peek down. Not sure how well you could see down there. Certainly running the risk of multiple copyright strikes walking around bars blasting music at night. These are the kind of videos that I like to upload nice and early before they get published. That way I can tell if they've been copyright striked or not, and then I simply won't publish them. I'll edit out the music that was deemed to cause the copyright strike and just re-upload it. So this here is Spadina Avenue. So things should get much quieter from here on in, although there are a few lively streets I think I'll loop around. Just to the west of here, I think I'll head past Restaurant Row and then maybe turn up John Street. North, this will take you up to Chinatown. I've been wanting to do a night walk through Chinatown in a while, and now that the restaurants can at least partially resemble their normal selves, I think stage 3 is the right time to do that. Because really the heart and soul of Chinatown are the restaurants, and those of course have been most affected by this. There's a group of ladies boarding the streetcar without their masks or face coverings.
There's no way, bro.
There's some disgusting masks people threw on the ground. Not sure if the camera picked that up. You start to see that with the disposable masks. And you have to wonder what kind of pig leaves their disposable mask or gloves just lying on the sidewalk or the street. There's been a lot of concern about how a lot of these downtown businesses will bounce back once we're over with this pandemic. As there is probably going to be less people commuting downtown as more people are going to be working from home. You might even have less demand for downtown housing, although that seems unlikely. But another thing that I've noticed with my friends, at least in my circle, is that we're all kind of being conditioned to not going out and spending a lot of money at a bar and simply having small gatherings in a park or someone's balcony or patio. So you kind of wonder if you'll ever really go back to being normal again, at least in the way it was. So this here on the right coming up will be Restaurant Row. And on the left is the Bell Lightbox, which is a cinema and the headquarters of the Toronto International Film Festival.
Just wanted to start a conversation.
Movie theaters are allowed to open as part of Stage 3. I'm not sure if this particular one is or not. But again, they're going to be limited to 50 or so people at a time in the theater, I believe. And I'm not sure that all the big Hollywood studios are going to be wanting to release their big blockbusters given that the number of people who can actually go see them is going to be quite limited. And that many people are still going to be apprehensive about going out. So this is sort of more the traditional entertainment district in Toronto. This is the shrinking Restaurant Row. Condos keep coming along and encroaching on the space and making it smaller. Without the theaters down the street open and all the tourists in town, it's certainly suffering more than most areas. As I'm not aware of any locals that like to frequent these restaurants too much. It's got a bit of a tourist reputation. All right, and this here is John Street, so I think I will turn north. If I were to keep going straight on King Street, that would take me through the financial district. There's the CN Tower all lit up in blue and white and purple. I'm sure that's the kind of quality commentary that you all tuned in for. Johnny Strides describes colors on a building. All right, there's absolutely no traffic. I'm just going to walk. Of course, that's when a motorcycle going way too fast whips through. So this is Adelaide Street I'm approaching. There'll be a number of bars just on the left here. All right, this is a copyright strike waiting to happen. Just gonna walk fast and try to get by this place.
Why are you winning the match now? He doesn't like
What am I waiting for? So this is Adelaide Street. We are heading west on. Once upon a time, it was populated by a number of the city's prominent nightclubs.
However, I have a mandate. I have
There's a few divey bars coming up just here. You might already have been able to guess that though. Doesn't look like 244 is open. And now that Crocodile Rock across the street has closed, you would think that 244 would be the main benefactor of that. That bar right there was Crocodile Rock. It was known for cheap drinks. Had a bit of a reputation for being what you could call a cougar bar. I had a debate with an American friend I met in Korea once, where I mentioned cougar and that it was a Canadian term. And he said, of course not, that's an American word, but Google revealed I was right. So if you're curious as to what that means in the sense of a bar or going out, just look it up. So just up here on the left is the Fifth Social. I've always known it as Easy on the Fifth.
That was fucking hard.
Yes. Oh, it was like live during our QBR.
Honestly, it's not even a
And I went by this place on a previous walk just here on the left. There was a very large outdoor patio set up in this parking lot that was quite busy. It turns out that it was a joint venture between the bar we just went by, the Fifth Social, and this bar here, the Ballroom. But there doesn't seem to be anything going on here tonight. Perhaps the Stage 3 opening knocked this place out. Or maybe they just had a temporary lease on the parking space. It still looks kind of set up. Whew, that stunk of beer. That guy was just emptying all the tall boys onto the sidewalk and collecting them. He's probably gonna go exchange them for some shiny coins. So we're back to John Street. I think I'll just take this north up to Queen Street. This is Richmond Street West, which I am jaywalking through. Once upon a time, this whole area would be packed right now, as this would be sort of ground zero for Toronto's nightlife. I've mentioned this in prior videos, but there were a number of mega clubs. In this complex alone, there were two really big clubs. There was one called Republic, I think, that is now a Linen Chest. And there was another one called Circa that changed names a whole bunch of times that became a Marshall's. It was originally a Sega Palladium, and then later a Palladium, which is a Dave & Buster's style arcade. But that went under. Earlier today, I went for a walk and I recorded one, and it seemed as if a lot of the restaurants weren't yet ready for Stage 3. They only had a few days' notice to get ready. So many of them were still closed, but I guess if you're a bar and you've already been operating with customers on the patio, and ultimately you're serving drinks for the most part, it's probably a lot easier to be able to get up and running. Just want to cross over to the other side. We'll walk past the Warehouse and a few other bars. Wow, that guy who honked at me just went right through a red light. Let's honk at a pedestrian and run a red, all in one. In fairness to him, I probably shouldn't have crossed there, but it's all good. I saw him from a mile away.
You are way past it. You are way past it.
I'll make one more.
I'm very
I do not want to know what that conversation is about. There goes a gaggle of police bike cops. I don't think that's the correct word to call them, but so be it. And just in case you missed my last video or you didn't watch all the way to near the end because it was long, like a lot of my videos, I have launched an Instagram account. So if that's something you might be interested in, you can check the link out in the description. The handle is Johnny Strides. I think what I'll do is I'll just post a picture or two every day as I come out and make these videos. I've also started a Patreon account, so if you're interested in supporting me and my endeavor with this channel, check that out. To my surprise, I already have 3 patrons, which is what I think you're supposed to refer to them as. So huge shout out to the 3 that have signed up so far. I'll be putting some exclusive content on there from time to time, just some bonus videos. And there are a few other perks. I know most YouTubers mention this stuff at the start of their videos, but I really don't want to come across as being overly pushy. But it's definitely appreciated. Looks like that might have been an impromptu memorial for, I don't know, I didn't recognize any of those names. I think it might be a BLM. Related endeavor. It's never a nice thing when you see RIP in someone's name. And this here is Queen Anne University. And it gets pretty quiet past here and won't really fit in with the nightlife theme of this video, so I'm going to duck down into the subway station. I'll just do it from this side to get a nice look at University Avenue. Let me fish out my mask. Which is mandatory indoors in public property. In fact, as of next week in the city of Toronto, you'll have to wear a mask in the common area of a condo or apartment. The known active cases in Toronto are quite low. So I guess it's just a case of better safe than sorry at this point. As we've seen in some European countries and even Vietnam, it doesn't take much for there to spark an outbreak of this stupid virus. So we might think we're sitting pretty, but the next thing you know, we're not. Sounds like a train might be rolling in. And that's the one I want.
Please stand clear of the doors.
Pretty much got this place to myself. This train will go south for two more stops. It'll go to St. Andrew and then it'll go
Next
south to Union.
St. Andrew. St. Andrew Station.
Then it will turn around and head north up the Young side of Line 1.
Arriving at
Oh, that's too bad. You can't see my face.
St. Andrew Station. Doors will open on the left.
All right, I'm gonna shut this down. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my Instagram if you're interested, and leave your thoughts and comments down below. I'll catch you later.
Please stand clear of the doors.